York to Chicago to here. So to get the same ingredients, give or take, is a challenge. And to have and not be running around the day before you ship looking for products, it's kind of, it starts, from where our chef back east, knowing what we can source. So you're not really driving yourself crazy.
Great. And then for Lullabies and Good Eggs, is this a primary or secondary source of distribution for your suppliers? It's said another way, are they selling more on your site or more through traditional channels, and do you see a shift there?
I think it totally depends on the food maker. There are a lot of folks like Josie Baker started out selling through the Good Eggs platform, and initially it was like 100% of what he was selling was going through Good Eggs. Of course, we've got larger farms like Urana Farms that sells berries through a handful of channels, and maybe 10 or 15% of their business. But increasingly we're hearing stories of small to medium-sized farms that the growth on Good Eggs is enabling them to take the next step in their business and expand.
Great.
Yeah, I'd say we're in the beginning of proving to our farmers that we can really help them grow their business. It's really the beginning stages, and it's companies like Lullabies and Good Eggs that are it's new. It's this new channel. So yeah, I'd probably say for most of the suppliers, the farmers markets are great, and probably some relationships with distributors. But I think we're proving to our farmers that there's a new channel opening up that's really going to be promising and help them move more product.
I want to know what you've learned about the way people make food choices that surprise you. You probably have a lot of touch points with customers. As you're growing, you get a lot of feedback. What blew you out of the water? Because I think anytime you kind of look into consumer behavior with food, there are 10 things you never expected to hear.
There's one, it's like everyone wants to eat healthy, but what does healthy mean? You got 100 different definitions of healthy. Convenience is like table stakes, but a lot of people make decisions based on soft emotional needs beyond convenience. But again, if you can't deliver that baseline, it's not even in the running. We surprisingly have a lot of people that shop through us and also shop through Costco, for example. You think of those as very different intentions around food.
Something that people, it's funny, we see, I look at our orders coming in, and sometimes I look at people's orders, and it's it's really sort of surprising. It seems like there's no plan to the orders, which is something that's actually sort of really come out at me. Planning meals and planning what you're going to eat for the week is not easy, and that's what I see in people's orders, and I think there's a lot of room to help consumers make that process less painful. And that's what I see from looking at our customers' orders coming in, is it really, you have some, it just is like this strange, it's not like you can see a meal coming out of what the orders are. And it really surprises me a lot, actually. Some orders, yes, there are some where you can really see that they're planning their meals, and then there's some where it seems a little bit more haphazard. So I think there's a lot of room to help our customers make that a little easier.
Webvan did a similar thing with HMR. I think the biggest surprise to me was when you're doing meal kits and ready to heat things, that most people think about dinner around 4 o'clock. In an online world, that's like, how are you going to fulfill that? It's really tough. So, especially when you have really rigid delivery windows that you're trying to hit, there's cutoffs where it takes some time to get to that, to hit that window. And, that was the biggest surprise to me, is when people make a decision of what they want to eat and the lack of meal planning.
For me, it was just, I grew a really large variety of different things and varieties, and it seems like people are really, they get used to what they're familiar with, and they don't like branching out as much. So, they'll take an apple over a quince any day, or a butternut squash over another variety. So, so it's been challenging, introducing new things. But
And in response to that, I actually think, so some feedback we've gotten from customers, which makes me so happy when we've gotten it on multiple occasions, is that shopping through Lullabies, like, actually got our customers to try new things. You know, I'll get an email from a customer saying, I've never cooked beets before. And like, for some reason, going into the online market is very different than going in the store. When they would go into Whole Foods or Safeway, they just buy what they always bought. But for some reason, the presentation of, I'm buying this directly from farmers, it's easy, it's online, and potentially they can look for recipes and think about how they're gonna, you know, do a little research before they decide to buy those beets that they've never bought. That we're helping customers experiment and diversify their diet, which I think is a great thing, and which can help you start to move some, you know, it's part of the education process of educating consumers about their food.
I think there's an interesting derivative challenge maybe that these businesses will face as they get all this data, trying to read behavioral patterns or intent into the shopping experience. I tried both Good Eggs and Lullabies this week, and I will warn you, it's dangerous. There is a tremendous amount of tasty stuff on there, but there was no coherence to my shopping strategy. So, and Glenn, I will try to impress some ladies nearly in the future with a home-cooked meal. This next question, feel free to give it the old